Yo. Welcome back to Hip Hop Radar Underground. I am Sac Juggalo, and today we got the beast from the East, John Anthony, with us, man. John, how you doing, bruh?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Man, I tell you what, it's been nice weather out here. Like today, I think it's going to get up to 65, but it hit 86 earlier this week, which
Oh
was
shit.
freaking insane.
Really?
Yeah, but it makes going out mowing yards and doing, side hustle shit a lot easier without the
Oh yeah.
rain. So, John, man, what's been going on in the music lately, my brother?
Um, so a lot of keeping everything on the down low, so to say, for now, but definitely a lot has been happening behind the scenes.
Okay.
I'm really excited because I think we're around that time right now, when there's going to be a lot more news dropping. So if you follow my socials, be prepared because I think I'm on the right track with a lot of where I'm going with music and shows and signings. Like I feel like the year so far is turning out to a good start. Music wise, I definitely have stuff in the vault, and I'm ready for it to come. It's just I want to make sure everything's perfect before I do so. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we're
Because you've
almost.
been working for quite some time. I mean, very hard, not in just your music career, but also running a full fledged fucking label. Um, how's the label going?
Great. Absolutely great. We just signed a new artist recently. He's in the local area of northeastern Pennsylvania. His name's Jay Jug. Just signed him back, I believe, in like late January. So I
Oh,
brought him
nice.
on board. So we're expanding new artists. I'm in the talks with another artist who actually, coincidentally, I've been working music with for the last couple of years. I even performed with him.
Hmm.
But I think like now we want to take the step and kind of grow a little more. So we're expanding more. We just signed another producer. I just, I might have lost a couple other people in the past, but we grew and got more. So, the
Heck yeah.
label it's definitely making moves, and I'm excited. I really can't wait to see what the rest of the year can do.
That's what's up, man. You guys, you and Jaymont got some new shit together coming out, or are you guys just working on your solo shit right now?
Both.
Oh,
We
nice.
definitely are. I mean, Justin just Jamon, he just announced an album a couple weeks ago. I think it was like last week. Alter Ego. That's coming out next month on I believe it's the 25th of Friday. It's
Oh,
like the
nice.
last Friday of the month of April. So that project will be coming out. That's anticipated because last year he didn't drop an album. So we're really excited for this one. A lot of singles have already been released. I just dropped a single with him. I think back in February, early February, we did a song called Back to the Future.
Mm.
That's out there right now. That's our latest track together. But yeah, he's got his new album coming out. I'm working on some good stuff right here. I mean, we definitely want to get more together, I think, because we have great chemistry, and clearly our fans want more. So yeah, we got some stuff working in the vault, and we also have some new stuff out there right now. So.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, you guys are going to be a bit busy next weekend. Do you want to fill in the posse on what you might be taking place, or you want to keep that on
So
the hush?
No, so we got a photo shoot, all of us. The whole the whole label is going. We're going to Philly. We're gonna be doing some photo shoots. This is gonna be for obviously the concert that we have coming up, which I did announce yesterday. That was the announcement that I had prepared all week to post. So we'll be doing photo shoots and promos for that concert. Obviously, some solo shots to help us out with marketing on ourselves. And then yeah, I mean we're looking forward now going to post a lot about the concert. This is our third concert together. The recent signing of Jay Jug, he will be our opener now for the concert. So there's going to be four of us, and it's going to be big. It's in our hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Again, that's the great place where everyone knows The Office from.
That's where the
Uh,
paper's made, baby.
the paper's made. So yeah, this will be our third year doing it. We did it in 2023, last year in 24, and now this year in 25. So it's a 3 years in a row. We're trying to make it bigger and better.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, that's the goal. That's what we're moving on forth with. And then of course, solo albums. It's a bright year, it looks like.
That sounds great, man. I love hearing the positivity. I love hearing that things are working in your favor, because I've known you for a few years now, dude. And I know you work your ass off. You know what I'm saying? And I know that you work with people who work their asses off. So I can see nothing but good things coming from this, man. You've built a great brand. You put out amazing music, and your artists that are label artists, they put out amazing music too. Um, where do you want to see yourself at the end of this year?
I never, it's crazy because I never look that far ahead, but
I feel
recently,
you on that, dude.
yeah, it's crazy. This year, I literally have a planner now. Like I didn't have it on any other years. This year, I have a planner planned out throughout the whole year. So I'm expecting by the end of this year, to have obviously more growth in my career and with J Months and with J Jug and everyone on the label. I'm expecting more of that, and we're expanding a lot more. We're putting more financial work into the company
Hmm.
altogether. So it's not just one person. So.
Nice.
We'll put the money in for billboards. We'll put the money in for radio hosts. We'll put the money in for photo shoots and video shoots. And we're doing everything we can to expand on that right now. So by the end of the year, we're hoping for not only good financial income, but
Yeah.
obviously for recognition. And that's our biggest goal right now with Villainous Records, with each individual artist. So yeah,
Exactly. Yo, George, what is going on, my brother? Big salute, man. Good to see you. I hope you're having a great week, man. We got the one and only John Anthony. He said usually J Mont, or Paul said usually J Mont and John Anthony are pretty much interchangeable, but this format really hit. Yeah, boy.
appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, Jaymont does his he has like a very unique way of like putting music together. And I think when I first started working with him, this is like we're already on like 3 years, I believe now, or something like yeah, I believe 3 years. So when I first started working with him, this goes back to I think when we did our first interview together in 2022, we were talking about my album Villaination at the time.
Yeah.
And he was featured 3 times on there. That was kind of like his introduction to the world. Like I think he had like one track out there that I put out there for him just so he had a Spotify and an Apple Music page. So I had to
Okay.
put out something quickly. I was scrambling. So that was his introduction. So to see that growth from then to now when he did this song and the album that I'm excited people to see, it's huge. It's really huge. And I think that right there is actually one of the main reasons why I kept pursuing to keep doing more with the label and sign more artists because I wanted to, see somebody go from here to here the
Yeah.
same way that I saw if I go back to my beginning album, my debut album, to maybe last year's album or the one I'm working on now, I see huge growth.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring.
What's some of the tricks or tips that you might be able to give some younger artists out there to maybe get through some of the heartaches that you went through?
You can't stop. You have to keep going. And I think when people look at my profile, or at least they look at a lot of my music out there, like, damn, you have a lot of music. That's crazy for an independent artist. Don't you want to pick and choose certain good songs? And it's like, no, I have no reason. I'm not on like a Drake level. I'm down here, so I have nothing to really lose. I have to keep going with it. And I think if people release music and then they stick with just an album in like 2020 and then they don't drop anything anymore, it's like you got to keep going. You got to
Yeah.
just keep going.
Flood the
So
market.
yeah, just keep flooding it,
Yeah.
because eventually something's gonna pop, and that's just
Right.
kind of what it is. So, pretty much the whole thing is just don't stop, just keep going and just keep writing, keep making music, keep putting it out there. There's nothing you're gonna lose.
Hell yeah. The only thing you're gonna do is gain some more fans.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you guys are working towards. Um,
Yeah.
have you been able to see um, any money coming in from projects that in the past that you're able to put back into the music or the Villainous label?
Yeah.
Nice.
we get there's a I mean we all get royalties, monthly royalties.
Nice.
So I still get paid monthly. That's the best part about this. I never was about the money, but recently, I'm not gonna lie, it's been happy to see.
Hell
I
yeah.
especially now that I'm out of the parents' house now. I got my own place. I got bills to pay. So it's good to see this shit. So
Absolutely.
yeah, the royalties are cool, the sales. I still, I have merch on my website. I sell that frequently. That's why I do a lot of discounts and promo deals. I mean, there's a lot that we do. Outside of it, we try our best to just market and promote to get more financial growth in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a lot of albums kind of still bring in good royalties, so that's one of the reasons it just keeps, I have to keep going because it's like, oh, this is good. This is not only am I doing what I love, but I'm also getting paid. Maybe eventually, if I keep going more, I won't have to do a 9 to 5. This
Ex-
could be my.
Exactly. And that's what we want for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We want you to be able to look, you're working your ass off for somebody else right now. We
Right.
want you to work your ass off for basically us so you could fund your dreams, you know what I'm saying? But then we also get bigger playlists. You know,
Right.
we are maybe a little bit selfish in that regard, but I still want you to be able to look what I built, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to, I no longer have to go work for this guy down the street, anymore and make him money. He can go find a younger guy who's willing to bust his back for a few years until he finds his dream,
Right.
and that's what it's all about.
Exactly. Exactly. The everyone looks at it, and I've explained to Jamon and everybody on the label, like I know you all have outside lives. I know you have jobs. I know you have family that you have to attend. I still to this day take care of my grandmother. I've been doing it for 5 years. I'm her primary caretaker. Every 4 days I go up there, take care of her for hours before I go to work.
You
So
the
I'm up
fucking
at
man,
like
dog.
8. I appreciate that. I appreciate I'm up at 8. I don't get home until 8:30. So it's like every day, and I understand we all have lives. So, but at the end of the day, just find 5 minutes to do something music creative wise, like
Right.
whatever it is. I'm on my break. I'll try and finish that song I couldn't get on Monday done, or if I when I go home, the 2 hours that I have before I have to go to bed or whatever, I'm just gonna write a little bit, or I'm gonna try recording a little bit here. Just find something, because then eventually it'll just come back and you're gonna have some project. Because if you just let it go and you're just focused on, oh fuck, I got bills coming up this month, or I got work tomorrow and I have to do 12 hours, or something like that, you're just gonna forget about hip hop or forget about your passion.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to just be hip hop, and it's gonna fade away.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And once you take one day off, it's so much easier to take that second day off, and then so much easier to take that third day off. And before you know it, a week's gone by, and you're like,
yep.
"Fuck, I haven't done nothing in 2 months."
But yeah, it's cool.
Hell yeah, man. If you had to pick one place to perform, one venue, wherever it may be in the world, what's that one venue you always wanted to play?
Then yeah, all right, then there
Yeah,
we go. I'd probably say Madison Square Garden for sure. Staple, well, not Staples Center, Crypto
yeah.
Arena. Yeah, places like that are big. Believe it or not, though, I think the one venue I want to play at the most, and it's logical. It could happen. It depends on how bigger I get with it, but there's an arena around here
Mm,
called Mohegan Sun Arena. It's like actual big event arena that, a lot of big names have come here, performed. We had Snoop Dogg a couple years ago. We
mm.
had Kevin Hart. He does his stand up a lot here. Obviously, our Wilkes-Barre area Penguins come here. So it's a big arena. It holds probably up to around like 16,000 people.
Hell yeah.
But that venue, I've always dreamed if I ever did make it, that would be the last venue that I would do if I were to go on a tour.
Mm,
Didn't matter if I went to Houston, New York, wherever. I wanted that one to be the last one because that's hometown to me. And we're doing these hometown shows here. But I think if I grew a bigger name for myself and kind of, eventually made it, I think I would obviously have more people in the area that would know me a little more and be like, oh, he came from here, so that would be the one place, I
hell
think,
yeah.
realistically.
That's
So,
what's up, man. And I'm glad you guys got something like that around you to where you can have, a nice gathering of almost
yeah,
20,000 people to get together for whatever reason. Like Kevin Hart. I would love to go see Kevin Hart. That would be
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah. So,
absolutely. And we're going to be pushing for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you guys got colleges around you too, as well, right?
yeah, smaller name colleges, nothing too big, but
Sure.
there's King's College, which is right in the heart of Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
There's Scranton University in Scranton, obviously. But nothing too crazy. Like I think the closest one area around, like if you're really thinking big name, would be probably Penn State, relatively, I would think would be the one place, or maybe like an East Stroudsburg University. I knew a lot of people who went there. I was actually going to go there, but
Hmm.
I think for me personally, I just had to go out of state. But yeah, I would say those are a couple that are around
The
here.
only reason I bring that up is that we were speaking about radio, plugs earlier, and as far as I know, every college in America has a radio station,
Yep. Yep.
and they are willing to play anything. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So start dumping your music off on them. You know?
That's actually crazy you say that, because that's actually the first thing I've been doing for the last 5 years.
That's what's
That
up.
was one of the targeting things I've been doing for everybody who comes onto the label. The campus college radio stations will play anything. You just gotta either go to them or email them. So all the colleges, I mean, a majority of all the colleges that I know in this area, I've submitted music to, and
That's
I'm pretty
fire.
sure 90% of them play it. And that's a royalty right there. When they
Yeah.
play it, you get paid. So I tell them like they all want their stuff. Like I have a buddy he's not signed or anything in my label, but he makes music too, and he's been really trying. It's not my genre. It's rock or something.
Okay.
And I still work with them. Like I'll work. He just like my label is more like I'm trying to figure out areas where I think would benefit my style and my producer style. So I don't know if rock would be that genre right now,
Yeah.
but he wants to go and get his music in like Nashville radio stations or Sirius XM radio stations, and that's tough
It's
because
very tough because
it's
usually you're
very
paying them to play your shit.
yes. So I tell them, send it to colleges. Send it to colleges. They will play it within like I tell people all the time, do the old style, make a CD, burn it on a damn CD, mail it to them. They
Hmm.
love that, believe it or not. Because some of these people in the colleges that are running these stations, they want to feel like a classic radio station used to be in the 90s and 80s and stuff. So send
Yeah.
them physical copies. So it's funny you mention that because that's literally I was talking to someone about that about a week or two ago that it's a lost art, but it's definitely a dope thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because once you get people hooked on it, you know what I'm saying, from the colleges, they're going to want to hear it on the other radio stations. And they're going to
Right.
start requesting it. And they're like, I don't know how to get that record. Well, they're going to have to contact you to get that record because they keep getting inundated with, hey, you want to play that record? You going to play that record? So
Exactly.
that also is a great way to expand your base,
Yeah.
and go and catch a wide array of people because college kids on a Friday Saturday night, they may have a Bluetooth thing going on, but they also may just have the local radio station on,
Exactly.
and having some beers and shit, and they're going to hear something they like one day, and they're going to be like, "Yo, who the fuck was that?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's a cool marketing strategy. A lot of people like to look for social media, TikTok and all that, and I get that. That's
Oh,
the way
absolutely.
nowadays. But a lot of the times you got to realize like TikTok's algorithm, it's pretty much luck, and you got to have that strong luck to get there. But if you want like a solid, like it's going to be played, it's going to be heard. Colleges, man, like you said, those are the ones to go to, or there's Spotify playlists out there that are legit that, you might pay like $5 to get on, but shit, you're gonna get a couple more streams than you would have paid if you would have paid, $50 to get streams or whatever,
Yeah.
get played here and there.
And I know
So
I got some of your and J-Mont's music on my Hip Hop Radar Underground playlist. And for
awesome. Yeah.
$0, you might got a one play. You know what I'm
Yeah. But
saying?
it's a take. It's a take. I
Exactly.
appreciate that,
Hell yeah,
first.
absolutely. And my dude Paul Sample, he said, "Yo, I submitted this, talking about that video we were just talking about. Give it to you, to that Dorky Review Show, which is another reaction channel on
Mm.
YouTube. The professionalism had everyone shook 100.
Oh,
So,
really?
that's good shit right there. That's what's up. He's
Nice.
that dude over there at the Dorky Review Show. He's hard to please, man. He really is.
Really?
Yeah."
Is there a video to that? I'd love to see that.
Yeah, this is the first I'm
I,
hearing of it too, but
Yeah,
that's fire.
if you have a link or something, I'd love to see it. I
Yeah,
love looking back at those. I don't get a lot, but again, that's where Big Kahuna comes in. He sends this shit to me,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was there. I'll check it out, and then I check it out, and it's like awesome to see somebody sit there, like you review my music. I have a lot of people reviewing it. It's awesome to see that shit.
hell yeah, man. It's always
Absolutely.
good to get good feedback,
Yeah.
and it shows that you're working in the right direction. I think the music that you make will reach a huge, diverse population. And it's not because you're just doing bar stuff all the time. I mean, you had the Frank Sinatra type stuff. You had, the superhero type stuff. You got some laid back chill shit. You got some party shit. So you're really touching a lot of different bases. And I love seeing that out of artists because sometimes you'll get an artist and they're just kind of one note through all the whole thing, and which some artists can do it, you know what I'm saying? Like Biggie, he was kind of a one note type dude, but that was Biggie and he was really killing it, you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
but but you guys really are just kind of hitting all those spots and massaging the shit out the music. So salute,
Yeah.
bro.
That's actually one of the reasons I put out not only a lot of music, but changed my styles a lot. I've actually had a lot of people ask, why don't you stick with just one style? A lot of people have told me like, hey, yo, I like the older style a little more, but I do fuck with your music. I'm like, I get that.
Yeah.
But I think every part of the reason I keep changing up things is not because of like what people are saying, but because I feel a certain way about it.
Yeah.
And having one straight view on something like that's your whole style, it's not fun. Like I want to feel a challenge with the next album. So that's why you'll get, like you mentioned, the Frank Sinatra boom bap classic. Everything's got to be lyrical, this 1950s theme album. Then the
Yeah.
next year you're gonna get, this duo between me, J-Mont, which is all mainstream trap. My last album from last year, Never Ending Story, trap. Like you're gonna get stuff like that. But if you really go back to my older stuff, there's like Villanation, Words Are Weapons. These are more alternative underground hip hop, and then like there's just so many like crazy things. I have a whole album where I literally it's out on Spotify right now that I dedicated to somebody I used to like there's so many things I had in my bag, but that's what I wanted to have all these options of different styles.
And
So
that's a
it
beautiful thing because that's what's actually in your heart. You know what I'm saying? That's who
yeah,
you actually are. And if we want a fake carbon copy of someone else, we just go to the radio for that shit. You know?
yep,
But
yep,
why we fuck with the underground is because you don't find too many of the same motherfucker underground, you know? And that's
yeah,
because you're doing what your heart is telling you to do. And
yeah,
we're all different people. And I love, even though you might be talking about some of the same things, you do it in completely different ways. You
right.
know, we all struggle through things. I mean, we're all going to have a struggle story. We're all going to have,
Mhm.
something that we had to overcome. And to hear those stories, I don't care what it is, whether even if you came up in a rich family, you still had to overcome something at some point, whether it's a friend that fucked you over or whatever it is, um,
No, you're exactly right. That's why I change up a lot of my styles. Another thing too, and it goes back to your original question of like, what would the advice you give to younger people coming up? Read every bit of feedback you get.
mm,
Take every bit of feedback you get. I wouldn't be here right now making this style of music if I didn't take in all the critical responses that I got in, both positive and negative. I still scavenge through the internet sometimes, and I submit my music to a lot of people,
yeah,
people who write blogs and articles and all this stuff. And sometimes I forget who I'm submitting to. And there's some positive stuff, obviously, and then there's some negative stuff you'll read. And I think the negatives is the best thing because it helps you then find out, all right, well, then how do I avoid getting that again? And I
yeah,
think one of the biggest things that I had negative in my life for a while was the comparisons to Eminem.
mm,
And that's kind of been something why I've been drifting to a different style versus my older style. And I get the comparisons, but it helps. You gotta read those things. You gotta read
and,
those signs.
and it's not bad. Okay, I know plenty of rappers that emulate,
Right.
uh, Eminem, and it's not a perfect comparison by any means.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
another white rapper, right? But
exactly.
I think the best way to get your practice in is do shit you're familiar with, right? So you're
Mhm.
familiar with M's work. So what do you do as a rapper? You rap all his songs, word
Mhm.
for word. You know what I'm saying? By the time you're getting it down, right? Then at that point, you start putting your own words to those beats, right? So it's just practicing. It's just practicing. Then now you're at a point to where you feel comfortable enough to step out of that, you know what I'm saying, and start trying some new shit. Maybe this stuff that you've never tried before and it's working. So,
Mhm.
dude, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's actually you worded that pretty well. Like, because when I tell you, I heavily was. I mean, he's one of the biggest inspirations I do this. There's a lot, but he was one of them. And
Yeah.
when I look back at albums like, there's some early 2020 projects of mine, 2021 projects where I mean, you could see the heavy influence.
Yeah.
And at that time, I wasn't even trying to do that. I was
Right.
just doing what I love doing, and that's writing music, making unique things. But it's so similar looking back at it now. That's the driven passion for me now is just don't fall back to that. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
That's
And
my
you can
creative.
pay homage to it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
That's a
yeah.
beautiful
Oh
thing.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm glad you found your voice. I'm glad you were on this path with a great team. You're hiring producers, you're hiring graphic artists, you're hiring, you're signing more artists. Um, you, dude, salute to you, man, for putting the
Appreciate
fucking
that.
work in, man, for real,
Thank you.
dog.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I do believe you deserve every good thing that comes your way, my guy.
Thank you, man. Same to you. I appreciate that. It means a
Thank you,
lot.
thank you, thank you. In fact, Rose said, "Nice shirt, John." The Cowboys are her second team, so
This is tough to do. I honestly remember I just put it on and I just said to myself, is this really what you want to do right now? Because the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. You're gonna get a lot of people who are gonna be like, get that shit off. And I agree, but
so you're a
thank you.
Cowboys fan,
Unfortunately.
stuck in Philadelphia or
But yeah,
in the
around.
area
So,
of.
yeah, yeah, Pennsylvania.
Right,
Pennsylvania.
right. Which pretty much you're either a Steelers fan or you're Eagles fan. You can't be
Exactly.
another. So yeah, I can feel your pain.
But I believe it or not, there are a lot of Cowboy fans around here, but
Mm,
they are not my type of cowboy fan. Like
mm.
every year is their year type of shit. That's never been me. I've been real with myself. I've realized this team is not where it needs to be. We
Yeah.
suck. It's rebuild year. And when the Eagles won, depressed, but they were the
Right,
best.
right. But you know, you could always fake it to just go out and hang with the people, wear like a Eagles shirt or something, and be like, "I get free drinks, right?"
It's tough. It's funny because I made like a lot of bets over the playoffs and that the Eagles weren't going to win. And I was like, if they win, I'll wear an Eagles jersey. I promise.
Ah,
And they won, and I have been avoiding that person since because I can't wear. I literally, it's against my whole passion. Like so.
I can feel that. I can feel that because Eagles and Cowboys when they play, it gets very competitive real quick.
Oh yeah,
It isn't just another football game for those two teams. So I can feel
no,
you on
yeah,
that.
yeah, big time rivals. Neither one likes each other, but one is just better right now. So
Wasn't that the back in like the early '80s or late '70s? One of like the most horrific games, like called the Blood Bowl or some shit like that. Them two motherfuckers played in, where like everybody was getting their limbs broken and shit.
probably,
I think they were playing in the snow too.
probably, yeah, I could see it. I mean, if there's any two teams that hate each other the most to put injuries on each other, it's the Eagles and Cowboys. So,
Facts.
and the fans too. The fans can be put in that category as well. So,
Well, that is the city of brotherly love, right?
exactly, exactly,
Yeah, the motherfuckers boo Santa Claus over
exactly.
there.
I can't hate Philly because that's where I go for a majority of my music career, like video shoots. I've done concerts there. Like I love Philly, but not a big fan of the sports. So
Right, right. So in basketball, does that make you a Maverick fan then?
believe it or not, no,
Ooh.
makes me a Laker fan.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm all over the place, and people might look at it and be like, "Oh, big name teams, big organization teams." No, these are obviously my dad's teams, and I
Okay.
inherited all my dad's sports teams. But he grew up liking them because back in the '80s and '70s, these were teams that were dominating,
Hmm.
So then, of course, they kept still dominating a little bit. Lakers, I was a Kobe fan. I've always been a Kobe fan, die
Hmm.
hard piece. So that's why I fell in love with the Lakers more so than just because my dad was a Laker fan. Same thing with the Cowboys. I fell in love with them back in the day because of Tony Romo and a lot of these guys. But yeah, of course, my dad was a fan, so I kind of grew into it. But yeah, those are my teams.
SGR crew. I know this is going to be kind of a short one, but John Anthony does have to get out of here, man. Before we wrap it up, you got anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, obviously everyone on my label, from J Mont to J Jug to Alex Murphy, he's one of my best friends. He's the guy who does a lot of the management right now and the scouting. There's a lot on the team. Shout out to the whole Villainous Records crew. Shout out obviously to all my friends who have supported me. And then all the new people who are discovering me. You're really giving me the inspiration to keep going. I get a lot of messages from people who DM me and say, "Love your shit." That's all I need for my day. So
Hell yeah.
shout out to that. Shout out Kahuna. Man has been putting me out there and getting my name out there and helped me out. It means a lot. And then shout out to you, obviously, as always. You have been one of those guys from day one that I remember just I remember thinking in my head, what am I going to say? How's he going to ask me questions? And literally, it's like talking to anybody that I would be talking to. And that makes me so comfortable. And that's why I like to come on these now. And actually, you're one of the reasons that I want to do more of these going forth, because I never was the type to want to do interviews and stuff like that. I just wanted to, here's music, listen to it.
Yeah.
So props to you and thank you. And shout out to you and the whole SGR crew, man.
Well, thank you for your time and thank you for letting us to get to know you behind the music. You know, that's another reason I like to do these is so people can know the person behind the music. We hear your
Yeah,
stories, you know what I'm saying? We hear you know what flex on motherfuckers and all that good shit. Uh,
right.
but to just have a conversation with the person who does the music, it's invaluable and it really does grow a connection between artist and fan base that even the media can't break, you know, because these
Exactly.
people know you now, you know, and
Mhm.
over the years they'll come to your live streams and come to see you and ooh, what's dropping next and have conversations on IG. It's really just fucking it's really dope. Again, John Anthony, thank you for your time, my friend. Big salute.
Absolutely.
And SGR crew, I will see you guys on the next one, all right? Peace.